Hey Guru Nation, so I wanted to make a video. I've made these in the past, but I think maybe I gotta do it regularly. So one of there's many things that create problems in the industry due to a lack of transparency, but one of the main ones, like the fact that this industry is so secretive, and it's almost like, Fight Club, where you only talk about research. Like with those in Fight Club, you don't talk about it to those outside of research. It creates this like culture where charlatans can come in and operate. And this is gonna be a short one, but how to spot a scam in clinical research. Now there's different kind of scams, okay? There's scams for patients, believe it or not. There's scams for sites. There are scams for people looking to get into the research industry, and unfortunately there's also scams for sponsors, like there's bad sites. So let's go through these one by one. Number one, the biggest issue I see, maybe it's just me personally because of this YouTube channel, but it's these courses, right? And I'm somebody who owns several courses. I own CRA Academy, I own CRC Academy, I own the Clinicians Academy. We're about to start a Data Manager Academy soon. Like, academies are great. Especially ours, ours are great. I mean, this is not intended to be a shameless plug, but we actually provide real internship experience whenever possible, like real studies, so that you can put real experience on your resume as an intern. Of course, we've helped tons of students out. We've done interviews, we've helped tons of students out. There are also other academies out there that help people basically cheat their way into research. I just heard of one today from somebody who's actually considering the CRA Academy. He said there's a course where people are basically being taught how to lie and say that they have 12 years of experience on their resume. I just spoke 2 days ago to Daniel Reget, the CRA coach, who says he's working at CROs, or he worked at CROs where they're having issue with fraudulent CRAs. Look, guys, there are no shortcuts in this industry. You might be able to fool somebody and get a job in research, but to do something like CRA, you're not going to last long. You're going to last maybe a week, especially if you put something like senior CRA on your resume, or just regular CRA, but 10 years of experience, or even 5 years of experience, or even 2 years of experience. They're going to know within week one that that's false, and you're going to get kicked out, or you're going to get blacklisted from the industry. I talked to several job recruiters. There are several websites and databases that have these fraudulent companies that people tend to use for their fabricated CVs. So don't try it, all right? Here's how to spot a scam course. Do you offer real internship? What is the real internship? How are you able to offer a real internship? Do they also, like us, my CRA Academy? We offer a real internship through my CRO that I own. Yes, they are investigator-initiated trials, but they are real studies being done. They're listed on clinicaltrials.gov. You can find them on my website. Boom. Same thing with CRC Academy. We have real studies. We have real sites in our network. Us who own the academies, we also own sites, CROs, various different companies, and we have a network of contacts who can actually help provide real internship opportunities for students. So that's number one to ask. Number two, if it's too good to be true, do some due diligence. Like, Google these companies, not their brand name. Google the actual parent company. So the CRA Academy is the brand name of my company, owned by DSCS Sweat Equity Investments. So if you look up DSCS Sweat Equity Investments or DSCS CRO, you will see it's a real company. We're on clinicaltrials.gov. I think we have like 3 listings on there as a CRO on current studies. So go look at it, right? Do your due diligence. Second kind of scam is, unfortunately, for patients. I've seen this in the past, like not every study, but there are tons of studies where sponsors try to find a glorified way of billing Medicare or insurance companies through the guise of clinical research. So there's basically these, you see them a lot with these like genetic screening studies. So they tell the site, hey, just enroll like 500 to 1,000 patients and you get paid X amount of dollars. Well, these patients, for the most part, their insurance gets billed. That's kind of a bad thing to do, and sure, maybe the patients won't care, but there are many cases where the physicians are writing these orders for genetic tests when they have no reason to do so, just for the purposes of filling the sponsor's study with patients so that they can have more numbers so they can bill insurance companies. A lot of investigators who do these kind of studies are usually research naive, and they just think this is how research is. Try to stay away from that. So if you're a site and you get a study offered that seems too good to be true, ask them, do the patient's insurance get billed on this? If so, I usually run away. I know there's some legit ones out there that do this, but I run away from these ones, all right? The next one is if you're a site and you get approached by a company you never heard of to do like a virtual trial. So what they want to do, I've actually met a couple of these people at different conferences. What they wanted, and sad thing is some of them are backed by some of the big CROs, or at least they were in the past. What they're trying to do is get access to the doctors, as many doctors as they can, EMRs, electronic medical records, so that they can continuously run studies, retrospective, prospective studies. And so technically they're not lying to you. It is a clinical trial, but it's not a real clinical trial. Like, what are you actually doing other than providing access to your EMRs in what seems like, in many cases of these companies I've talked to, in perpetuity, like forever. Like, there's no limits on how long they can continue to do this. And they say, well, it's for not only will you get experience for your site, but now your EMRs are in our database, so we could come to you with real studies. I would stay away from this. Finally, the toughest one is fraudulent sites. So if you're a sponsor and you have a study and you need sites, you need trained CRAs to spot these sites that basically, and this is few and far between, thankfully, but fabricate data. Like, every now and then you'll see a story of this. And really what it boils down to is the CRO, via the CRA, not paying enough attention to clues during the site selection visit that something's off. So if I were a sponsor, I would work with either established research clinics that are standalone only, or hybrid research clinics, whether inexperienced or experienced, that are inside an actual private practice. Anything else, like if it's an inexperienced standalone, you got to really make sure, like, okay, where are you getting the patients from? Because you have to understand, a lot of these sites, they start out with good intentions, but then they figure out that they can't enroll patients, and then bills come due, and then they start figuring out, let's say, creative ways to get patients because they lack an actual database of patients. So that's really, thankfully, few and far between, but I had to throw something in there for the sponsors. So anyways, look, we need more transparency in this industry for a lot of reasons. Those are just some of the few. Do your due diligence out there. Whatever stakeholder, whatever kind of stakeholder you are, job seeker, research site, sponsor, CRA, do your due diligence. Catch you guys later, Guru Nation. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Bye-bye.